Preservation Committee?
I did not, but I thought I would bring it up with the membership here.
You're on. You're in.
Hey there, sorry, a little late.
Oh, hi, Leslie.
Hey Kathy, thanks for pinging me. Yeah, I was just
No, that's okay.
a little potty break between work and this.
John, did you hear me that you're in?
I heard you,
Okay.
but I had not technically been notified.
Well, I was in an email, so I figured that's public, so.
I didn't see it. I don't, but I was notified by a couple of others. Interestingly enough, we'll talk later.
So I think we're on, right?
I'll wait on Jason.
Yeah, we should be good.
Good evening. Welcome to this meeting of the Northborough Community Preservation Committee. This open meeting is conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the virus, the town of Northborough has been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings. And as such, the governor's order suspends the requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. All members of the Northborough Community Preservation Committee are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows Northborough Community Preservation Committee to meet entirely remotely as long as reasonable public access is afforded so that the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless noted otherwise. Members of the public who wish to view the live stream of this meeting may do so by going to Northborough Remote Meetings on YouTube via the link listed on the agenda. And I think that's on the website. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting is not a public access comment feature. So good evening all. Welcome back. Great to see you all virtually. I'm excited for another season of the Community Preservation Act. We have a lot of good news to share. And one of which, I know I emailed you all, but the notification from the Community Preservation Coalition of the state's match was good news, much higher than expected. I did want to ask that of Jason Little, who is joining us as the finance director with our usual presentation of the numbers that we never understand and hopefully will when you're done. So Jason, without further ado, would you like to give an introduction?
Sure. Let me just try.
Jason, we can't
Breaking up.
hear you, Jason. Jason, you want me just to go to audio? Will that help with us in the building?
Maybe.
Okay.
Better.
There, can anybody hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This PowerPoint.
Not now. Nope.
Audio is cutting out.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, see if that works. With me off. No.
Can anybody hear me now?
Still
Still
breaking.
breaking up.
Try talking again, Jason.
Can anybody, how about now?
Yep.
Better?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give this a shot.
Okay.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so this is what I was going to go through. Revenue budget. Again, John, the reimbursement rate was 28.63% of the FY20 reimbursement. We received that on November 13th. When I had been looking at the numbers earlier, I hadn't seen that. I think that was back on the 17th to prepare at that point.
Yeah.
So this will include 28%.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up again.
Yeah. It's not working.
Jason, I just sent a text to David to see if there's,
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's home, but to see if he, if there's anything he can do on his end.
Jason, you could display your screens without voice and then go to voice only.
Yeah, he could just call in on the different phone on the landline and then just mute his,
Yeah, maybe doing that. Hold on,
Hi, Andy.
John, you want to move to other items on the agenda and come back to this later if the situation can be solved?
Not a bad idea.
You want me just go through the 4 applications, John, real quick?
Okay, sure. Jump to that. And
Okay, because as far as minutes, I had not, you have the June minutes, but I didn't resend them to you, so I don't imagine that anyone, found them in an old email. So we can do minutes at your January meeting, but as far as the applications, and if anybody would like a paper copy, just let me know. We can, mail it out to you tomorrow. But 4 applications in this year. The Recreation Department submitted one for outdoor pickleball courts to be located at the Ellsworth McAfee Park. And that's been a joint effort. Ally's been working with she's been looking for a location for a while. So she and the DPW director worked on this together. Total cost on this project is $290,250. And I think that is for 6 courts. The Open Space Committee submitted an application for funding to be placed in the Conservation Fund. And their application is for $400,000 this year. The Northborough Affordable Housing Corporation. Oh, wait a minute. I might have just got a text from David. Hang on just one second. Sorry, guys.
sure.
So the Northborough Affordable Housing Corporation submitted an application for $50,000. And then the Northborough Historical Society submitted an application Jason, are you using laptop or desktop? Where'd Jason go? Hey, Jason?
Who's muted?
I know, but he should still be able to hear me. Sorry, guys. Okay, so then the last application is from the Historical Society, and they are
Can
requesting.
anybody hear me now?
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
Hey, Jason,
Yes.
David Kane wants to know if you're using your laptop or desktop.
I'm using the laptop, but I'm plugged into a network cable.
All right, you're plugged into a network cable?
Right.
Okay. So again, Historical Society, $20,000. The total cost of the project is 22. So they are, able to kick in 2,000. And this is for exterior restoration and renovation, restoration and preservation of the building. So those are the 4 applications for this year. And then there's, of course, always the admin funds and the White Cliffs debt.
Thank you for that. Jason, are you with us? You want to go back to the review of the numbers?
Sure. Am I echoing on your end?
Yeah.
A little bit.
All right. So this is the revenue budget. This is updated with the 28.63% reimbursement we just received. This is terrible. You see the $180,000 down here. So the town from FY07 to FY21 has received $2.6 million in state matches. That's on behalf of the town having levied approximately $7.5 million. So overall, for this period of time, that's a total percentage of 36.86%. So for next year, we're always conservative, and we've prepared a budget where we've increased our net levy amount slightly to $575 and estimated a 14% match at $77,000 for a total revenue budget of $652,000.
Now, Jason, while you're on these numbers in that part of the chart, if we received a state match much higher than estimated and we budgeted our minimums on that, are there some reallocations that need to be done? For instance, to the affordable category, which we voted only the minimum at last year's town meeting?
Not at this time. It's the budget that you folks adopt. So it's based on what we set the budget on and vote on at town meeting. And there's not really a provision to go back and readjust it once the actuals are known the next year.
So does the state match that we got in excess of what we expected, does it appear in our unreserved fund balance?
Correct. So once we close out FY21, that excess revenue will be realized in the fund balance, and then you'll be looking at that next year as part of your fund balance.
Thank you. I jumped you ahead a little bit, so I'll let you continue.
Okay, no, that's good questions. All right, so we move on to our following closing the books for FY20. These are our fund balances that we have available in the each individual category. And those total $725,000. So those, together with the estimated revenue, is a total available funds of $1.377 million. So the annual obligations, as you've mentioned at the beginning, we have 10% requirements to spend or reserve for open space, historic resources, and affordable housing. That would be set on the revenue budget of $65,200, and then not more than 5% for administration, where it'd be a maximum of $32,600. And then the other thing is the annual requirement to pay for the White Cliffs. And then moving on for that, there's an estimate here where you can see we've reissued bans 3 years. We now have an outstanding principal balance of, we anticipate in FY22, we will have an balance of $1.084 million. And using an estimate for a taxable bond with 4% interest, that's about $204,000. And that's the end of the information that I put together for you tonight. I can answer any questions you may have.
Jason, this is John. Back on the previous slide for reserve and fund balances, not the previous slide, but your chart, spreadsheet, there we go. Reserve and fund balances.
Yep.
Could you explain again where you get the total fund balances available? Because since we allocated at town meeting 2020 for the affordable housing reserve, does that not increase the number, or where am I off there?
Well, it's in kind of a state of limbo until we close the books for FY21 because it's coming from revenues. This is how the state lays out how we're supposed to count these balances. This is kind of similar to free cash, where we don't know that we have it till we've closed the books for the year. It's just money that's coming in during the course of the year. And it's certified once we've closed the books at the end of the year.
Very good. So that's why we should ignore the shaded gray area, so to speak.
Yeah, the shaded gray is what we anticipate to happen and where the balances will be going.
Thanks for clarifying that for me. Any other members with questions on these numbers? Throw it out there.
Can I ask a question, John?
By all means.
Jason, on the sheet that's up now, or the page that's up now, with the total fund balances, 724,976. That's what we have. That's what we presently have in the account. And
correct.
Then
based on what was certified through the end of FY20, and it accounts for July 18th town meeting that we had this summer that followed the close of the fiscal year.
Okay.
All right, and then so the total available for 2021, that is based on the estimate that our fund balances plus the estimate.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, now I see it in brown right there.
Yeah. Three separate slides.
Yeah, okay.
Excellent. But again, you believe we can use the conservative estimate for 2022 revenue of the 652, and therefore our 10% minimum target is only 65,000 too.
Correct. Like if you look at this table here, John, if you don't mind me adding something, this is similar to if you look back to 2017, the revenues that you must have estimated that year would have been $550,000, and you reserved $55,000 for the historic resources reserve. The actual revenues that year were $658,000. So the additional amount just goes into unreserved fund balance.
Yeah, very good. That's fine. I just always, you know, it seems that the state match, I think, you know, we expect it to be higher because of the new legislation that changed the fees, giving more in the pot, so to speak, for the state's Community Preservation Fund. However, more communities have adopted too, so.
Correct, and some large ones have too, like Boston being the most, the biggest example. There has been some talk of the DOR releasing further regulations or guidance on, you know, going back and doing, you know, recalculating the reserves and things like that. But I think like they kind of got feedback that that was going to make it too cumbersome, the process too cumbersome or complicated, because the CPA is already complicated as it is. So that hasn't happened yet, but there's nothing saying that that won't happen in the future.
I understand. Well, we have the obligation of the White Cliffs payment, which automatically satisfies a historical minimum.
Mm-hmm.
And we have projects in front of us that can cover the open space recreation minimum. And then so we really only need to address the affordable housing minimum. The project proposed doesn't meet the 65,000, but we'll accommodate it to the reserves if needed. Thank you for the review of the numbers. It is always helpful to me. Are there any other questions of Jason?
Nope, looks like a lot to look at.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Jason, if
very
I
much
can
so.
just, David just said he rebooted his server. So
Okay.
he doesn't know if that will help if you wanted to change off
Okay,
the
let me
phone, but
try.
Sure.
But anyways, just, I mean, it's working, you know.
Yes. And when he comes back, or Kathy, I'm going to ask him to provide the updated spreadsheet attachment when he can.
Yes, yeah, he'll send that. I'm sure he'll send that to me tomorrow.
Right.
And
And
then
for those of you who got it, it has two other tabs, one of which was the debt service on White Cliffs that he showed us. The other one was the conservation fund, which I'd like to comment on in a minute.
Can anybody hear me now?
Yep.
Yes, we can.
All right, so I'm going to throw caution to the wind and up this zone, which is causing the interference.
no, don't, Jason.
Okay, let me.
You're cutting out again.
All right, yeah, I didn't prepare anything in this presentation related to the conservation fund, but
No,
that is a tab in the spreadsheet that I forwarded to you earlier.
Yes, that's fine. I was pointing it out.
There's a couple little tweaks in this presentation that I prepared tonight, so I'll send out the updated information. You know, the most sizable change was the updated state numbers for the current year.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll
That's
send
great,
that out
thanks.
to you before the end of the night.
Very good. Well, we very much appreciate you being with us, even if you were in stadium mode.
Yeah, I
Thank you,
I apologize
thank
for
you,
the
Jason.
thanks.
We pretend you're like Lou Gehrig or someone making a big
Yeah.
speech.
Yeah.
Once again, we appreciate it. I'm sure we'll have more questions, but it was very helpful.
Okay. Oh, I'll be here on the line. I'm continuing to host the meeting through Zoom.
Sounds great. I would suggest a brief review of the applications, a little more detail than Kathy gave us.
Yeah, I didn't have any of the app, because it wasn't a public hearing, John, I didn't reach out to any of the applicants, to ask them to come tonight, so.
No problem. Briefly, then, with regard to the application from Northborough Recreation for the pickleball courts, I anticipated it coming because it had come up as a major item of interest of the town. Came up in the open forum on the open space and recreation plan that was just submitted or just closed out and will be submitted from Northborough. So it's interesting. Expensive, but I guess that's what it costs. There's tremendous town interest, and I'm not sure if you can fill 6, but I'm guessing that there's an incremental cost to build even one, and it may not be that much more to build a group.
Can I ask an ignorant question? Are pickleball courts what we observe on Lyman Street across from the beach?
Yes, in Westboro?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They are?
every time I drive past there, they're packed with people.
Are they really?
Yeah.
There is, of course, it's not happening now, but, and Ally obviously will be able to speak to this much more than I can, but they play here in the gym, in the gym in the town hall, and every available time slot that Ally has, they take. They can't get enough time for the amount of people that play. So she constantly, has to say no to them. I mean, they're in there a lot. They're in there almost every single day. But it's quite popular. And Allie's funny. She'll tell you how she sort of, again, it's hugely popular, and she works a lot with whoever organizes it in Northborough, and but she sort of always just poo-pooed it, and then she played one day with them, and she completely changed her. She wants to join, and she.
Oh,
Yeah, I pulled up a YouTube video of it last night. I had no idea what it was, and it's like human ping pong, pretty much.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's a cross between like tennis and ping pong.
Yeah.
And there's this area, I guess it's called the kitchen, where you can't go, so you can't like charge the net. I heard it was for older people, and I don't understand. I've watched it, and there were, these young bucks playing it. And I don't understand why it's supposed to cater to older folks. It looked pretty challenging to me. Pictured like this giant paddle, but it was, a small paddle. And
Yeah, I know it's really not that. Yeah.
And I was surprised by the sticker. I had a little sticker shock too, but
Yeah. It seems pretty costly.
When I first saw it, personally, I started looking for whether it had been backed up, and I see it's quite thoroughly prepared. So I'm guessing she's worked on it with the town DPW director, Scott.
Yeah.
And there's contingencies and things built in, and so on and so forth. And I'm sure here again, you have to go through all the hoops of a town land project, prevailing wage and so on. So
She always does her due diligence.
yeah, I think this is pretty well backed up. So I'm sure that we'll learn more when they want to present for it. Any other comments on this project?
No.
Next in my hand is the Conservation Fund application by the Open Space Committee. Open Space Committee is back on their knees, begging to be recognized this year. I wanted to. I submitted the application personally, so I wanted to correct the record a little bit. In its description, it says that the current projects that we are using the conservation fund for will consume about 400,000. It's actually about 396, primarily for the Howard Street land, and it mentions the current fund balance of 677. That is the CPA restricted balance, or the funds that we've put in from previous town meeting authorizations. There's an additional 50,000 something that's also in the conservation fund that was there prior and is not held to the same restriction, but is still available. Other than that, the rest of the application is straightforward. So we'll be presenting further, but also advocating that we'd like to build the conservation fund's available sources back up from where it was, with our goal always trying to get close to 1 million of available funding there for when an immediate land opportunity comes up.
You don't have any particular projects in mind, John?
There are some parcels that the Open Space Committee is talking through. So I do see the opportunity again to use the conservation fund, within its budget, as opposed to a very large land acquisition. But I'll try to get some. I'll try to put together specific references, or at least calculate what our potential is for the coming year.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been an active year for the Open Space Committee. The committee is larger than it ever was, and we have a much more active group than in years past. It's a good resource for the town.
Okay.
I have now up the Northborough Historical Society application. I went to print it and saw it was 30 pages, and I canceled it, and I went back to only the top 5.
Like I said, I can send them, if everyone wants, I have paper copies, so.
I just wanted to compliment the applicants for being extremely thorough in the preparation. The 25 support pages have references to prior CPA projects in other towns that are of similar nature to support it. It has estimates from a variety of painting vendors.
Copy of the deed.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got all kinds of stuff. And so it's well supported. My first reaction was, oh, don't we have to get the town involved to make sure the estimate is proper? And then I realized, well, it's actually private property, so I don't think that applies.
Correct. We will have to do a funding agreement, but that's all we have to do with them.
Right. So, as I say, it was well backed up, and they appear to have gotten a commitment from a contractor, and they took their own funds, the 2,000 of their own funds, they committed as a deposit to that supplier pending the outcome of town meeting, should the project be approved. Any other input from anyone?
Nope.
Hearing none. The fourth application is from the Northborough Affordable Housing Corporation. And it is once again an extremely thorough review from our friend Rick Leaf. I confess to flipping. Yeah, I confess to flipping to the last page to try to get the summary. It appears to ask for 50,000 of new revenue money, as well as the extension of 450,000 in previously voted funding that is held in agreement with the town.
Mhm.
As I mentioned before, 50,000 does not meet the minimum allocation of new funding. So one idea would be to suggest to NEHC that we consider 65,000 instead, or any other ideas there too.
I said, let's wait and see what the other numbers look like. Maybe round up to 100 if the numbers work out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the projects that have been completed with NAHC's involvement have been excellent, and I encourage them to continue. One side note is I know that there's an interest and an attempt in looking at the oh heck, what's the name of the building on School Street that's for sale right now?
Grange.
Grange.
The Grange, thank you. I know there's a little bit of talk of possibly getting the seller to consider the NHC or a joint project. Not sure if they'll be able to pull that off, but it's a potential target.
So is
Billy's
this
going to buy it.
Yeah. It had more parking. It's all about the parking.
So this is the universe of applications we have this year. There's nothing
Yes.
further
Yep,
coming.
just the four.
Yeah. No latecomers that you've heard wind of?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. Good.
Might be
Well,
the
it's a reasonable.
Open Space Committee's moment.
I don't want to jinx it. We'll have to give it a full review and an open hearing. Any other comments on the applications or questions?
We'll take a look at them.
I guess at the beginning of the meeting, as people were coming on, we were talking about it briefly, but I wanted to let you know in a formal setting. I applied to be considered on the Master Plan Implementation Committee. And on the one hand, I wondered why I wanted to be on another committee. And on the other hand, I noticed that many town boards are represented on the committee, but not the Community Preservation Committee. And much or many of the projects in the master plan will come to CPA for funding. So part of me felt like it would be good to play a role as a liaison and to comment from our experience. And the other part of me just thought I could be effective on the committee. So I went ahead and applied, and I'm hearing through some grapevines that I'm going to be approved for one of the 6 citizens at large positions. So
Congratulations.
I felt that that really that my main goal would be to represent the CPC and whether we can be even more creative with how we use it.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, thanks for that. The other subject I had on my mind was the representative on our committee from the housing group. We spoke about it briefly because I really don't think we should continue to go without some representation. And, it puts a little too much burden on the Northborough Affordable Housing Committee to kind of advocate for themselves. It works, but we should really have a representative, and also speaking to the master plan, that we coordinate the needs of housing with CPA. So Kathy Jubert mentioned the possibility that another board member, Andy Dowd, might be interested. Should we or could we send a somewhat official email requesting them again? It's kind of a yearly thing. Can they designate a representative who can join the committee?
Yep, I can, I'll send out an email to Lynn Marino, who's the executive director. And then I think we're in the same situation with the Recreation Commission also. Sean, I haven't heard, anything official that Sean's not the rep, but, we all know, Sean has had some health issues, and I can reach out to the Recreation Director to find out if Sean's continuing, or, is there someone else?
The last time I communicated with Sean, and I feel like it was this year, but my sense of time is always warped this year, but it could have been a month ago or 6 months ago. I swear he indicated he wanted to continue to try to serve, but it would be helpful to update that and see if we need to get a different rep.
And then is everybody okay with January 7th, as the hearing for the applications?
Sure.
Yep.
Okay.
I got a big
First
trip
Thursday in
planned. What are you talking
January.
about? Just kidding.
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
I said I have a big trip planned. No, I'm just kidding.
You wish, huh?
In my dreams.
Is that a Thursday?
Yes,
Yes.
it's the first Thursday of January.
Okay.
Is it okay to go ahead and designate another date for the potential of follow-up? We do have a short slate, so we may very well, cover a lot of business on the 7th. However, what's the first Thursday in February as a follow-up date?
4th.
The 4th, is it the 4th, someone said?
Yes, the 4th.
Yeah. Yep.
Any objection to putting that down as our next date as well?
Not for me.
Got it.
Way beyond my planning horizon.
It's wise not to plan too far. I get it. Thank you for that. Kathy had an agenda bullet, close out old projects. Is there anything in particular?
That, I'm going to continue that, if you all don't mind. I had talked to Jason about doing that. Actually, it was Jason's suggestion. But then I've been quite busy with CBA planning board the past couple of months. So I didn't go back to Jason, and he has a list of all of the projects that do need to be closed out, but I just wanted to review them with him first before I sent them to you. So I'll do that for your January meeting.
That's fine. Okay. Any other business anyone has or questions?
No, not from me.
I failed to do the one official duty in the beginning, which was taking a roll call. Even though I see all of you, some did come after the initial time. Let me do it now.
Yeah, you need to do roll call to close too.
Yeah, okay, so can I do it once or twice?
Yeah, no, you can do it now,
Okay, good.
once.
So when I call your name, please just acknowledge that you participated in the meeting. Todd Helwig,
Yep, here.
Millie Milton,
Here.
Peter Martin,
Bill here.
Jeff Leland,
I'm here.
Andy Clark,
Present.
Leslie Harrison,
Here before and still here.
and John Campbell. I'm still here too. And Jason, thank you so much again for your presentation and for joining us. And
Thank you.
Yeah,
I want you to
thanks,
work on
Jason.
your stadium voice.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. It's you're very helpful to our committee. I move to adjourn.
Second.
You have to do roll call.
I gotta do that too.
And I don't think you're allowed to make a motion, are you?
Oh, crap.
I
I'll
move
move
we
to
adjourn.
Second.
Okay, roll call to close out. Todd,
Yes, sir.
Millie,
Yes, sir.
Peter,
You betcha.
Jeff,
Aye.
Andy,
Yes.
Leslie,
It's about time.
and me. Over and out. Thank you all for coming.
Thanks,
Thank you very
So
everybody.
much.
long. Be
Thank
well.
you all.
Bye, everyone.
See you
Bye-bye.
next
Should we
year.
say happy holidays?
Yeah.
Happy
Yeah, see you next
holidays.
year.
Yep.